welcome to the Holy Duck Tournament, last game of day one. I hope you're ready.
I am definitely ready. We had a couple of very exciting games, very tight games. Most of these teams are ranked super close together. Again, I said this when I was doing in-house announcing as well, but mad respect to whoever's doing Interleague for One Love who organized this, because the games are incredibly tight.
Yeah, it's a really good tournament so far. So we are happy to see that Antwerp and Namur both will be playing their second game today at the end of the day. And I will be telling you who is playing for Antwerp. So here's the Antwerp roster. We have 07 Cherry Moshpit, 102 Saramiti Jane, 13, excuse me, Queen Laquifa, 221 Sherlock Holmes, 404 Eileen, 5 Wildcard, 89 Hipshot, 10 Majin Bu, 12 Check, 2 Freckles, 357 Dark Pistol, 49 Eau de Vilaine, 8 Hellfreya, and 91 Lieutenant Savage. And who is playing for Namur?
Skating in the blue for Namur, we have a 021 Lulu, 12 Ninon, 13 Shuttle, 27 Gillies, 537 L'Enroule, number 9 Jackie, number 3 Nappy, number 127 Sailor Mean, 24 is Aline, 4040 is Pimus, 89 is Pulp, and 934 is Tinker.
Pretty small roster for Namur. Normally they have a very big roster, a lot bigger than Antwerp's, but now they seem quite well matched for the upcoming game.
And they did really well. Both teams won a game today. Yes. So it'll be really exciting to see how they're going to play today.
Yes.
Or how they're going to play this final game of the day.
Antwerp already played Valencia, first game of the tournament, 263 to 118. Yeah. So it was a win for the home team. And Namur did an incredible nail-biting game with a twist at the end against La Boucherie de Paris, 139 to 126 in favor of Namur. So it's we have two winning teams so far, and they will be playing each other now. The other teams have faced off, so Valencia and Boucherie have also played a game before. And tomorrow Namur will be playing Valencia, and Antwerp will be playing Boucherie.
And of course, at the end of the day, at 3, we have our B team game,
yes,
which is Pack of Destruction, which is the One Love B team against Rotterdam Roller Derby Honeys. So that game is at 3. The first game tomorrow, Valencia versus Namur, will start at 12. So be sure to tune in. If you're in the neighborhood, be sure to stop by.
Yes, and Antwerp, number 13 ranked in Europe, will be facing Namur, number 18 faced in Europe as well. And we were talking about this just before. These teams play each other quite a lot. So I think I say we because I also play for Antwerp. I think we play each other at least once a year in an official game, and often also for a scrimmage.
Yeah, you were saying that you generally do much worse against Namur than you expect. Like, yeah, there's some kind of mojo between you. So it'll be really interesting to see what's happening. What's happening right now is that both jammers got out pretty quickly behind each other, but it's Ninon who picks up the lead and who immediately shuts down the jam.
Yes. So we had Ninon and Hipshot on the jammer line. Next up for Antwerp is Wildcard against Gilly. I'm interested to see which pairings of jammers we will get now. It's often that you see a lot of the same jammers rolling in together. So we'll see if that happens now. It was a very quick first jam, so empty penalty box, and we'll go on to jam number 2 for this game.
So we see Namur trying out a little bit of a pushing strategy with the offense, trying to push through the wall. It did manage to at least move the pink wall forward a little bit, with Wildcard being recycled and still stuck in that back.
Yeah, we have offense for Namur, not too successful yet for the jammer for Namur. Wildcard with the lead in front. And now Gilly with the star in hand behind the wall for Antwerp.
I think the star has gone to Pulp right now, who is now pushing that wall forward. Full defense for Antwerp, trying to hold him back.
We had a little hop there by Wildcard on the previous scoring pass, making it pretty easy to complete that scoring pass. Now on the second scoring pass and calling it off right before Pulp could enter the pack. And let's see how many points Antwerp scored. There were at least a few, I think.
Yeah, probably. I love how Wildcard just sort of went down while calling. They were like, no, this is my priority right now.
Yeah. Falling is okay, but so 7 points on the board for Antwerp and 0 yet for Namur, but it's only the third jam, so anything could happen. Eau de Vilaine versus Lulu, full pack.
We didn't see Eau de Vilaine jam a lot in the first game. They mostly jammed, I think, 2 or 3 jams at the end of the game, so it'll be interesting to see what they're going to do now, and they're picking up lead.
Lulu doing the thing we have seen them do before, going out, going in, trying to really break up the wall like that, and now being recycled back by the Antwerp blockers.
Yeah, actually being hit out by their own blocker.
I saw it, yes.
Oh, nice. Trippy on the inside, and of course Lanroul is in the penalty box, so there is no chance of doing a star pass right now.
Eau de Vilaine getting some offense there by Shelock, completing the first scoring pass. Lulu still on initial with the star on because the pivot is in the box.
Oh, a back block going to one of the Namur blockers, so even less help for Lulu. Lulu, however, sees Lanroul coming from the penalty box. They have just returned to track. You will see them at the right-hand corner in a little bit. Oh, really nice move. Was that the star pass?
Yeah.
Oh, that is made of goals. I was just absolutely gushing about the Namur pivots, both Pulp and Lanroul. They are so versatile. It's it's really nice to see.
Yeah, this was one of those textbook star passes that you really should look out for. Pivot coming from the box, no one expected a thing. Jammer having the star on the back, and so it happened before anyone could actually do anything. It was so beautiful to see. 15 points on the board for Antwerp, 0 for Namur. We have hip shot against Ninon. We have seen them together before. Then Ninon had the lead. So let's see what happens now.
Yeah, we have Sailor Mean sitting in a penalty box, so that's one fewer person. Oh, and another blocker for Namur going to the penalty box, meaning it's just a little bit easier for Hipshot to get around and harder for Ninon to get out of that pack.
Yeah, there was an almost star pass, but it didn't really happen. And then now again, Ninon is fighting to get through. It is a power jam in favor of Antwerp now. Hipshot going into the back.
Yeah, Ninon being sent to the box on a back block. And we were just saying, we've seen a couple of pretty penalty-heavy games, but mostly blocker penalties. So Ninon already getting 2 penalties is, or one pen is getting this penalty is yeah. Let's see what that means for the rest of the game.
Yes.
Let's say that.
Hipshot on the third scoring pass, managing quite easily to get through. We have the jammer standing for Namur. Antwerp is ready for it. They are lined up good to hold the jammer.
Nice little beam depth there on the outside, and we've had a star pass onto Pulp.
Good star pass there, again pretty sneaky, and I'm not sure Antwerp completely saw it coming, but the jam is for Antwerp. 15 points on the board for Antwerp for now to 0 Namur. Jam number 5 coming right up. I'm going to quickly check how much the point differential was last time.
We're getting a lot of Allez Namur, Allez Matcha, Allez Namur. Go on Antwerp here in the live chat on Derby live stream. Check it out on YouTube. And also in jam number 5, we have jammer number 5 in the pink, their wild card in the front. And we have Gilly, of course, jamming here in the back, running into that very sturdy wall there. Back being stretched.
Good job there for the Namur blockers hitting the jammer out on the inside, but no lead called yet because also the blockers for Namur are doing an incredible job.
Oh, and just pushing and pushing. And we've seen a lot of tripods that barely seem to be moving.
So Antwerp and Namur played each other last time in 2022. No, that's not correct.
Wildcard very happy to be out. In the meantime, Gilly is still in that initial pass, being brought all the way back by Sherlock Holmes there. Oh, big knock there on, I believe that's Lieutenant Savage. Wildcard picking up 5 more points.
So the last time...
Or 4 more points, wow.
Last time was 149 to 130... No, 149 to 124 in favor of Antwerp, so only a 20-point differential. For now, I do believe that we can say that Antwerp has asserted dominance on the track. Definitely. 34 points already on the board for against the 0 for Namur. Namur has been bleeding a little bit of penalties. Antwerp so far none.
We saw a very similar thing when Namur just played La Boucherie de Paris. However, Namur were relatively penalty heavy in the first half, but they really got back into it in the second half. And I was speaking to some of the members from Namur, and they also said, like, we're really a second period league. So they often struggle, and then in the second period they come back. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Lulu here almost got out on lead, but got knocked out by Majin Buu. They have been assessed lead, however, so...
Two jammers
really awesome.
Were being recycled. Aude de Vilaine with the star in hand, ready to go for the star pass, maybe to Majin Buu. We'll see what happens. But it is Lulu who is already on the scoring pass. So first points will go on the board for Namur in this game.
And Namur doing a really good job to get Majin Buu away from their jammer.
Aude de Vilaine almost through, but did manage to get recycled again by the Namur blockers. Very impressive there. So no initial pass yet for Aude de Vilaine, but also scoring pass for Lulu has been going on for quite a while now.
Yep. Yeah, and they also seem to be very stuck at this point.
Yes.
Yeah, Lulu now also going back. Brought back there, but...
almost no energy left to call it off. So
yeah. Antwerp tried to draw a cut there, but did not quite succeed.
No, I do believe that they were a little bit too late. But the endeavor was there.
You tried.
You tried.
It's one of those you tried moments.
Yeah. Were there no points for Namur? That seems uncommon. Oh no, there was a cut of the track.
But then they're still in. Yeah, but then they should have been awarded points.
I have no idea. Let's just keep that to the refs, and they will know what to do with everything.
Oh yes, awesome. We see the jammer ref now signaling 3 points for Lulu.
Yeah. Lead.
I've been there as a jammer ref. There's so many things happening. You're like, oh wait, I'm supposed to look at points. Lead now going to hip shot with both pivot and jammer for Namur still in the box.
Good offense there on the inside line by Lieutenant Savage, making sure that hip shot has a little trouble of going for that pass, and then Lulu trying to follow. The jammer.
Nice, running on the inside there, but is assessed another cut. Oh, just grabbing their mouth like, no, why am I doing this?
It did seem almost impossible that that would have not been a cut, but I don't know. We'll leave it to the refs to decide. We'll just sit here and talk to you about it. So we have now power jam, second power jam for hip shot, who does a full scoring pass, calling off that jam. Jammer still in the box. And 12 points scored in total. Penalties so far, 0 for Antwerp, 8 for Namur. First points for Namur are on the board, but it is Antwerp with a strong dominance in the first 10 minutes of this game. 46, another 12-point jam for Antwerp.
And we keep seeing this a couple of times already, that it's really been a penalty game. So hopefully Namur will be able to find some zen back in their minds. And in order to slightly lessen those penalties, spend more time on track.
Yeah,
actually doing the derby thing.
A little bit of a messy start there for Antwerp, I think. Did not really manage to get everything out of that power start. We have Cherry Moshpit doing offense for wild cards.
Yeah, and Ninon is actually on the track as a pivot. We saw that earlier. Oh, did Lulu? Oh no, it's not Lulu. Okay, I was really scared Lulu was going to get another penalty. But we see
lead is still open.
Lead is still open. Yes. Oh, jumping the inside. Did they make that? Yes, getting lead. Much needed, I think, because you can sort of see them getting into their head a little bit. Yeah. Being like, oh no, I'm not enjoying this.
Wildcard struggling more, I think, than they did last game against Valencia, against the more controlled manner of playing, I think, that Namur is showcasing here.
Yep. Star has now gone to Majin Buu, who wasn't quite expecting Pulp to be there suddenly in front of her. She was just skating off.
It's what Pulp does, I think.
Why are you here?
Yeah.
Suddenly a wild Pulp appears.
Yeah. The nightmare of every jammer, I think. 8 points scored for Namur and 0 for Antwerp. 11 points on the board for Namur. And we have a team timeout for Namur. Antwerp is already ready to go on the track.
We can take you quickly through the officials for this game. So in the stripes, our referees for this game are Roger, Delirious Diver, Guino Torres, Lescroc, Micro, Tarot, and Betelgeuse. And of course, our tournament head referee is Reflex, our head NSO is Tramadol, and our GTO is Quagga. Now, can you tell us about the NSOs?
Of course, we have Give Me 5, Lucas, Lil Bounce, Popotin, Eagle Eye Mary, Ute Rus, Poof, Lola Rock'n'Roll, Loca Nurse, and Rolene on the track today. And a fun fact about Eagle Eye Mary, who is at our scoreboard operator, who is from Karlsruhe Roller Derby. They also officiated at the Big O in 2019. Just to show you, cream of the crop here, people.
I do believe Lulu will be getting another penalty as Mikro just skated to their bench.
That must mentally be very difficult.
Yes.
So third penalty, 10 as a jammer, 10 minutes, 15 minutes in. It's a difficult thing to overcome. So I hope Lulu finds it in themselves to reset. We have a strong pivot already on the track for Namur.
And I believe that is going to be a captain penalty. Yeah, captain or someone's already skating to the box. The jam was just about to start and there was no Namur team on track.
That is actually a delay of gameplay play penalty, and that means that the captain of your team has to sit in the box for 30 seconds. Those penalties really suck.
Yeah, and I also loved how they already started skating to the penalty box.
Yeah, they didn't even they weren't even on the track. They were like, no, this is not gonna work.
Roger hadn't even reached them yet, and they were like, yeah, I'll just sit myself down.
This is not gonna be good.
We did an oopsie.
Yeah, we did an oopsie indeed. We do have a penalty for Antwerp. So Helfrea already had a forearm penalty. That's the one. And for Namur, we have Lulu with the 3, and then a lot of people with 1 penalty, which is nothing. They have to work hard, that's for sure.
Yes,
I think,
definitely. And
to
especially,
make it.
Yeah, I was just saying that a power jam, you do not want to give Eau de Vilaine a power jam. It's exciting to see them jam this much.
Yes. It's also, Antwerp is really benefiting from this power jam. I'm happy to see, because the previous power jam was a little bit messy, especially the power start. We did not manage to get the lead, and now Eau de Vilaine did have lead. Yep. We still have Lulu coming from the box together with the captain, Knappy. But Eau de Vilaine is already working on their second scoring pass.
Yep, and we just saw Ninon also signaling to Lulu, take off your cover. But they are not quite positioned because they are actually the person who has the jammer on their butt right now.
Strong offense there by Sarah Mitty-Jane, but it is another star pass. Namur has really been training on these, I think. They are really good at them, doing them sneaky, doing them unexpected.
Textbook offense there from Shelock on the inside.
good communication from the bench as well. Eau de Vilaine knew exactly when to call it off, score all the points, and call it off. So 54 at the end of that jam, 8 points for Antwerp, 11 for Namur. It's going to be a nice game to play and to watch. So we have almost 60 people watching with us today. So shout out to everyone who's watching. Feel free to comment, ask us things that are unclear, anything you want. And please also don't forget to donate for the live stream. We are all volunteers and we like to keep these things rolling.
Oh, Majin Buu there bringing back Julie's lead, going to hip shot once again.
Yes, Hipshot had a little bit of a struggle there with Pulp, which is a reoccurring event today on the Holy Duck tournament.
Yeah.
Saramiti Jane coming back, but another player for Antwerp in the box.
Yep.
Czech.
Yep.
Being stuck there at the end of the jam. 3 points scored for Antwerp, 0 for Namur.
And we're getting another shout out, Namur no fun. I believe that they are talking about the officials. We have multiple officials here from Namur today.
Yes.
So it's exciting to have everyone here.
I do believe that from the outside with the white helmet, Micro is definitely Namur, and then I'm not 100% sure.
No Wheels is there. I believe Tarao is also from Namur, so it's it's fun to see. Oh, and there we go. We have lead for Ninon.
And a star pass for Antwerp.
Yep.
So we said it before, wildcard seems to struggle a little bit more than especially the last game to have to find their game against Namur, maybe even more than the other jammers. But we did have the star pass that went quite well, and Lieutenant Savage going for that call off. Namur scoring 2 points and bringing the total for them up to 13.
Yeah, it's really great to see all these star passes, especially in the past. I believe teams are getting better at it right now, but in the past you saw so many teams lose games because they weren't doing star passes, and they just let that opposing jammer lap them and lap them and lap them. So it's really nice that we're having these short and nippy jams and that the star passes are working really well.
Lulu again on track, 4 blockers for Antwerp, 3 for Namur. Eau de Vilaine jamming for Antwerp. Freckles with a back block penalty. Lulu being recycled back. Strong defense there by both teams. Look at those tripods. Really, really holding those jammers, giving them no space, almost.
Yeah, we're 40 seconds into the or 30 seconds into the jam right now, and they haven't reached, I think they've just barely reached the pivot line.
Yes.
With these very strong pushy jammers.
Yeah, a very slow game. Namur already played a very quick game, I think. The game that Antwerp played against Valencia went a little bit slower, but the game that Namur played against Boucherie was almost a race for everything.
Really nice track awareness there by Lulu in the back, who knew that they did not have to go in behind Cherry Mosh Pit.
And we just now have the lead call for Lulu. So
1 minute in.
1 minute in. Only now we have a lead. Eau de Vilaine being stuck behind Pulp, which is, as we said, a reoccurring thing.
That's life.
Yeah. And Lulu being recycled back. Nice jump there on the inside line.
Failure to return there for Tinker. The pack is taking a beating this tournament.
Yes, Antwerp, I think Namur is playing for the box. So Antwerp is managing to score a few points.
Oh, really nice little runny thing there by Lulu in the back, but they managed to be caught, but yeah, I believe the initiator of that hit went out as well.
Eau de Vilaine now in the front of the pack. Antwerp trying to hold one blocker of Namur back to slow the pack down and make them go out of play.
I was just going to say Eau de Vilaine was about to lose their helmet cover, but that's the end of the jam.
I think they sometimes maybe forgot that they were doing a scoring pass, and then they took off, wanted to take off the cover, but then was like, no, leave it on. Official review for Antwerp. In the last jam, 4 points were scored for Antwerp, 10 were scored for Namur, so good coming back into the game, I think, for Namur. 23 points in total on the board, and Antwerp with 61. So that's good to see. Nice to see that we are getting place. Betelgeuse, who we can see on the track all the way on the left-hand side, told us their home league is Sam Roller Derby, and they have lived in so many places that they cannot speak any language without an accent. So they apparently lived in Montreal, so they have a Montreal accent, and they also lived other places where they took over the accent together with the language.
Yep.
So that's a fun fact from Betelgeuse, who's from Sam Roller Derby.
And it's also, both of these leagues, they're about the same age. Antwerp was founded in 2010 and Namur in 2011. They're not super close together, but also not very far away from each other. It's fun. You're sort of like sister leagues, but also very fierce rivals.
Exactly. I think the moment we step on the track, we forget whoever it is and we go hard, but the atmosphere is really nice, and we are actually pretty close. We see each other quite a lot at events, and we play each other quite a lot, so we know each other, and I think that's one of the reasons why the games are so tough to play, because you know each other so well. It's almost like playing people from your own league, which is always difficult. And for those who have noticed, maybe 8-9 is Hipshot's number, but it's also the number for Pulp. And someone once told me that Pulp chose their number because Hipshot also had 8-9, which would be super fun if that were true.
Okay, so I just got word back from the official review. Antwerp were requesting a forearm penalty on the blue jammer, but it was turned down, so they lost the no-call stance and they lost her official review.
Another amazing star pass there to Lanroule. Gilly passed the start sneakily, but I do think Antwerp was prepared for it this time, and they did manage to hold the pivot back on the outside line there at the end of the first corner.
Which is Lanroule has been also very consistently pretty amazing.
Yes.
As a blocker, as a jammer. So they are out right now.
Hipshot in the pack, trying to, but calling it off. I was not sure what Antwerp was going to do. They do have two blockers in the box, so they will start with only two for the next jam, together with Wildcard, who has been struggling a little, I think.
With these walls,
And then Ninon for for Namur.
It's going to be an interesting start.
Yes, it's interesting. I'm happy to see where this is going.
Yeah, of course, we have Eileen, I believe, standing in a penalty box, so they will be able to do some surprise offense, perhaps, for a wild card.
Let's hope so. And then we have Sarah Miti-Jane also in the box with a P penalty.
Dinon being hit out on the outside by Cherry, and lead going to wild card.
Yes. Nino close behind. I think similar jammers in style.
Similar in physicality as well.
Also true, yes.
Are they going to run it? No, they are calling it. Let's see what that means for the points. 2 points for Namur.
And then we have someone, we have the jam ref talking to the outside peg ref, which often happens, to see like where did the jammer pass the hips of which player.
When were they in bounds?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's another 3 points for Antwerp, bringing the total score from 72 for Antwerp and 25 for Namur. And you have some stats for me.
Yeah, so for the penalties, we are doing quite okay. We have Namur with 12 penalties and Antwerp with 7. So they are getting the penalties. Oldevillain, quick lead. And again, a beautiful start pass, like no hesitation.
They've been practicing. Oh, and we've had a back block on Oldevillain.
So I'm guessing no lead then because I was super happy for Lulu taking off the start that fast, but it was actually too fast.
Yep. We always teach new people as well. Wait a beat, wait a couple of seconds, because you know you might still be able to pick up that lead. Again, really nice blocking there by the pivot, Lieutenant Savage. And Namura trying to hold the pack back, but that doesn't work if one person keeps doing offense in the front.
Chaton now as the jammer for Namur. And Oldevillain with the star in hand coming back. So nice penalty kill there for from Antwerp. Recycling in front of the jammer, but Namur is there as well with a very nice defense in the back.
Yeah, and these walls are just not moving. Oh, they're moving slightly, but they're not moving a lot. Yeah, Lieutenant
No.
Savage, they're signaling, give me the star. I believe they have taken the star by now, so...
And that means we have the battle of the pivots, 2 pivots as jammers now. Lieutenant Savage being recycled back. Knappy doing offense for Chaton. And Lieutenant Savage is through. But you can see on their face that it was not easy.
Yeah, they don't want to do this.
No, no, I get it.
Again, I did not sign up to actually jam.
No,
Like,
I'm only wearing the stripe just for show.
yeah.
It's because we need one. Yeah. And because we are going for a 2-minute jam, they have to give it their all. 10 seconds, 5 seconds on the clock. And both jammers are being recycled.
Yeah, Lieutenant Savage taking a pretty hard fall there, being drawn back all the way by Lulu, but realizing that they only have a couple of seconds to go.
Yeah, and I also know they checked their ankle because they did have a pretty bad ankle injury not too long ago. So I'm guessing it's like first call, is it still there? But it seems to be okay.
And if you're 45 points ahead, like you're not gonna risk it.
No.
With more games coming up. We have 7.5 minutes left in this first period with Hipshot and Gilic on the jammer line.
Yes. I told a fun fact about the numbers of Hipshot and Pulp, but I believe you are Bet Smash. You are telling me, no, it's the birth year, and Hipshot is actually the fan of Pulp. Which is also true. Like, we are all fans of Pulp.
We are all fans of Pulp, yes.
Who is
Pulp
now
is
the
jamming.
jammer? Yeah. So 2 jammers today. At this point, it was 98 to 89. So I'm sorry, to 89 together on the track. 4 points scored by Hipshot, 0 for Namur. And 79 is, it feels quite far away from the 29 for Namur, but still it's pretty close. It's a pretty small score so far.
Yes, and especially knowing what we know about Namur being a second period team, anything can still happen here.
Exactly, exactly.
Again, that pair of Wildcard and Ninon up against each other. It'll be interesting to see what they're going to do in the second half, if they're going to switch around the jammer rotation a little bit to see what works.
But in the beginning, we had Hipshot against Ninon.
Yeah.
And now we have Wildcard against Ninon. And I do believe Ninon is their best performing jammer. So I'm guessing maybe they already did the switch a little.
Yeah, yeah, true.
But it is Ninon with the lead and Eileen to the box. So far, jammers with the highest scoring jammers for the game have been Hipshot with 42 points, which is more than half of what Namur has already, with Antwerp has already done. And then Lulu with 21 points.
And of course, Namur are behind. So, and again, that amazing apex jump by Ninon there. They are going to run the jam. They are in control, but they are behind. Lieutenant Savage is now being held back by that Namur wall there. So I think they're just going to take the risk and see what's going to work. Eileen, however, on her way back from the penalty box.
Nice use there by their own wall on the inside line. Ninon saw the opportunity to use their own wall on the inside line and they went for it, which worked perfectly well. Antwerp is in the corner, and I think if Ninon has to pick a spot for the opposing wall to be in,
their favorite spot,
they will go for the corner.
Yeah.
So this was a very good jam for Namur.
Yes, definitely. 16-point jam, only 4 points put on the board by Antwerp.
It was tough. Did we not see Lieutenant Savage jam just like 2 seconds ago? Ah, yes, there was a jam in between, but it was very short.
It was very short, yeah.
Yeah. Give your blockers a break, Antwerp. So we have Lulu and Eau de Vilaine on the jammer line.
I feel like we've been seeing that with Ninon a lot as well, especially when the Namur jammer is in the penalty box. They generally put Ninon on as a pivot, so they can immediately take the star if necessary. But then the next jam, they're suddenly jamming again. I'm like, whoa, what is your endurance?
Yeah.
So Lulu, they're trying to take the inside, but gets knocked off. So they've been trying to do this a lot, and every time just sort of get denied by those Antwerp blockers. Now Quack going into the penalty box again as well, making this a slight advantage for Namur.
Offense there by number 24 for Namur. Antwerp doing a pretty good job of holding Lulu in the back, but also Namur. Still no initial, so lead is still open for both And it is Lulu who is recycling the jammer at this point.
And again, I'm sort of understand it, but on the other hand, we've seen, I saw it in the previous game as well, where the team who was very far behind was doing this, and I'm sort of wonder what the rationale is, because you're running the clock, which is not in your favor.
I'm guessing the opportunity is there and you take it.
Yeah.
That's what my guess is, so I'm not quite sure. But again, Antwerp losing a little bit of their control, I think, since lead is for Lulu, who is already on a scoring pass. Eau de Vilaine still on initial, being recycled back by Pulp. Do we have a change of pace?
Lulu just being bowled across the track here by the Antwerp blockers, and now Majin Buu taking that star. Also, she's also sort of everywhere.
Yeah, yes, exactly. And we have a good turning wall, but it is again 2 minutes.
Yep.
Hardcore. 4 points extra on the board for Namur. 0 for Antwerp. 83 to 49 at the end here on the board. Still no one over the 100 marker.
Nope.
Which for me always, I've said it 3 times already this tournament, but for me always an indicator that it means tough game.
Yeah, it's the blockers are on fire this weekend. It's really just a blockers tournament.
Everybody's really playing pretty clean as well, which is a good thing. Gilly and hip shot there in the front of the pack, really destroying that wall for Namur. Very impressive to see. And then Gilly, star in hand, trying to pass on the inside line there, the wall for Antwerp.
Yes, Pimush is being sent to the penalty box for a forearm on hip shot there, which means hip shot only has 3 blockers to pass for the 4 points.
Yeah. Hipshot also has a good way of using their own blockers while they're doing defense to really use them to their advantage, which is a good indicator. We do have a star pass, I think.
They know where to go.
No, we don't have a star pass. That's just confusing. Oh, we do have a star pass now.
We do have a star pass now onto Lanroul.
Saramiti Jane back in the penalty box. And Antwerp with the call off.
So many forearms.
3 more penalties, 3 more points.
Everyone's getting a forearm.
Yeah.
It's like Oprah, but with forearms. You get a forearm, you get a forearm.
1 more minute on the clock, 90 to 49 in favor of Antwerp. 7 points for that last jam. Was a pretty tough jam, and then only 7 points scored.
So Ninon now on track. We're getting we have quite a few Ninon fans in our live stream chat, and deservedly so, because they just picked up lead again.
Yes. Wildcards they're struggling against the 2 wall for Namur. We have Cherry Moshpit with the back of the recycling and killing actually the point time that Namur has. Jammer for Antwerp fighting for that call off, and Chaton will be starting in the box this jam. So Antwerp is in a small pack advantage. Lulu versus Eau de Vilaine. And this will be probably the last jam.
We've already gone into intermission, apparently.
So, yeah, so.
Yes.
Yeah, everybody's ready for it, though.
Yeah.
I love to see how
I hate it when that happens. You're like super pumped and excited, and then the refs, I mean, they're called Team No Fun for a reason. That's the only reason they end the game.
Yeah, so now we will end the first half. 90 points on the board for Antwerp, 51 points for Namur. Pretty clean game so far.
Yeah.
Nice to see strong walls. I do think the jammers are all dying inside.
Yeah.
So it's good to see. Nice derby to see. 17 penalties on the board for Namur, 11 for Antwerp Roller Derby. So pretty much well aligned.
Yep.
We are back for the final half of the first day of the first ever Holy Duck tournament in Antwerp. So we're super happy to have you. Please stay close to the monitor because it's going to be an exciting game.
Definitely. So, of course, we're still watching Antwerp Roller Derby versus Namur Roller Derby. I see you are very enthusiastic in the live chat, be sure to keep coming at that live chat. Make sure to donate because it costs a lot of money to organize something like that. We've been very lucky and very fortunate that we're getting a lot of wonderful things sponsored here as well this weekend. But yeah, definitely chuck some money at us because it makes us happy.
Yes, and we have Hipshot versus Nino. Like we started the game, bit of a tumble there, Nino with the star in hand, but the lead is for Hipshot. Again, good, extremely good star pass there. Long rule, like no doubt about it. And they will make sure that Antwerp has to call off. So 4-0. Good start of the second half.
And you're going to want to have to call off with a long rule because we saw them jam in one of the previous games and they were absolutely on fire. So you don't want to risk giving away any points.
No. Actually, with all the Namur pivots, they have trained on it, I think, because they're doing quite well. We have Wildcard and Gilly. Battling it out.
Nice and empty penalty box. Gilly now running into Pulp there on the inside. Gilly almost out there in front, but running into Check.
Good work there, defensive-wise, by Antwerp. And it is Wildcard with the lead.
And we see the jammers getting through the walls, but then the walls constantly reforming because the blockers were moving forward very quickly. Now we've had that star pass onto Pulp, who's very happy to be out of the pack. Wildcard, however, putting points on the board for Antwerp.
And then calling it off, making sure Namur stays on 0. Yep. We do have a blocker in the box, Helfrea, and 1 point scored for Antwerp, who are getting closer and closer to the centennial mark. So 95 for Antwerp and 51 for Namur.
And now, of course, with one blocker in the box, a back advantage for Namur. Let's see what Lulu is going to do with that up against Odivilen.
Yes.
Of course, it's Lulu there on the inside in the blue, and in the pink, that's Odivilen.
Yeah, it was beautiful there on the inside line. Bit of a struggle there, I think, for Antwerp to stay together. Namur doing a great job of having a good defense. Sarah Mitty-Jane to the penalty box with a back block penalty, a forearm penalty. Lulu on the scoring pass.
But not lead jammer. And it was funny because they did the same thing during a warm-up just now where they also signaled to themselves that they were not the lead. And they just did it as well. They like, no, that's a no-earned pass, but I'm out and I'm scoring points. I don't care.
But even though Odivilen has the star in hand and put it back on again, they will not be able to have lead because they took the star off in the first moments. So we will not have a two-minute jam.
Yep.
And a power jam apparently for Namur, Odivilen, with a multiplayer block going to the penalty box.
Yeah, I believe they were trying to use Shelock as a battering ram through, but of course, if you hold onto your blocker and someone else hits into your arms, that will be a multiplayer. They're one of my favorite penalties, jammer multiplayers, because they're so rare.
Yeah, it almost never happens because it's such a blocker penalty. We had a little bit of a fall there for Helfrea. Lulu still on the scoring pass, but Antwerp managing to keep that very much under control and making sure that Lulu cannot pass more than what they have already done.
Yep, and they're not even all like actively blocking. Oh, a little switcheroo there, jammer coming out of the penalty box. And one of the blockers now sitting down. Is that Lulu? Yeah, that's Lieutenant Savage. Lulu, however, out on the second scoring pass. Star for Antwerp has gone to Shelock Holmes now.
Lulu on the third scoring pass, doing quite well and passing at least one blocker. That's 2 points. Oh, no blockers passed at that point. I thought they did one and then they would also get the box point, but they didn't. And then we have, but Namur did manage to score a decent amount of points, so 11 points on the board for Namur, 0 for Antwerp.
Yep, Antwerp still on 95 points. Let's see when they're going to get to 100 points. So it's about it's a 33-point difference right now, so anything can still happen.
Yes.
And we mentioned before, the second half is usually Namur's half, so it'll be interesting. But Hipshot so incredibly powerful into that wall, but it is Nino who has whistled lead.
it was Hipshot did manage to break up that wall for Namur completely, which is very impressive.
Yep.
And then we are going to the points for Ninon, but they keep the clock running and Hipshot is already through while Ninon is still on the scoring pass.
And now
with
sent to the penalty
cutting
box
of the track penalty. And now we have a power jam in favor of Antwerp with their highest achieving jammer, who is Hipshot.
Now opening up that wall on both sides. Nice little pirouette thing. And
we have the pack in the back, which is Antwerp doing. So they are slowing down the pack. So, Namur cannot run away. Offense by check for Hipshot.
And especially with Hipshot, because she's such an incredibly powerful jammer. You want to keep that pack in the back so they can just push the rest out of play. And again, those apex jumps by Ninon. It's like, oh, but cutting the track and leaving the star on the track, actually. And they've only just noticed as they're skating off track.
Yeah, and Jackie saw it, but the confusion is real. I hope no one falls over it, though.
Yeah.
We leave it on the floor. We'll see what happens.
And I hope at one point Paul will manage to pick it up.
Yeah, beautiful straddling there on the inside line. One hand out, one hand is really nothing because then the jammer is still in. So that's the point where you can just keep on going.
Yep.
Strong offense for Antwerp there on the outside, but not enough to get a complete stop there.
And again, trying the same, grabbing that goat, as we like to call it, in the back. But jab is called just as Ninon manages to pick the star back up again.
Before we had Namur with an 11-point jam, and Antwerp kind of said, nope, not with us. We're going to score 15 on you. And so we have 15 on the board, and Antwerp passing the centennial mark with 110 points. And then Namur 2 points extra on the board, 64 for Namur. We have a timeout called. We've already seen a lot of star passes happening, 17 in total in this game. Most of them have been Namur, who have done an incredible job with doing these secret star passes, 10 in total. And we have Antwerp doing 7, which is pretty much, I believe, if you see that the point differential is 50.
Yep.
So that's quite a lot of star passes.
Yep.
We have the penalty board up for viewing, 4 penalties for Sarah Mitty-Jane. For the rest, Antwerp is doing quite well. 1 or maybe 2 penalties. A lot of people with no penalties, so that's fine. With Namur, 3 penalties, but also nobody in the hot seat, and we're already in the second half. So I think that's looking good.
Yep.
For both teams.
Doing pretty well. I think the big difference is that both Lulu and Ninon already are on 3 penalties. So of course that is racking up the power jam. So that does definitely explain the little points differential.
I agree. Also, the game is going a lot slower, I think, for Namur, who played pretty heavy or very fast. The previous game, that always ups your penalty score. This game is quite slow, a lot more calm, I think, and therefore a little less penalty heavy.
Yes.
So Gilly against Wildcard. Already we're in the corner, so everybody started in front, which means we are quite quickly in the turn.
Someone's being sent to the penalty box with a forearm. Oh, and it is Wildcard. Speaking of jammer penalties, so now we do have a power jam in favor of Gilly, so in favor of Namur, and they're going to need this, and hopefully for them they can cash in on it.
Lead is still open, so Gilly keeps the star on the head. And while I'm saying it, lead is called, and we have Gilly with the lead for Namur. Wildcard already standing with the jammer cover in hand.
Really nice offense being done there.
I'm not seeing much offense happening though.
Well, not anymore, of course, because Wildcard is now in. And again, full defense on Gilly right now. And only now that Wildcard is getting some help here from their teammates. Wildcard now in the front, only a couple people more to pass.
Yes, so scoring initial pass done for wildcard, and we have a scoring pass for Gilly, who has been working on their scoring pass for quite a while now, and going for the call off their 4 points scored. So that was a tough jam. We had a power jam in favor of Namur, but only 4 points were scored.
Yes. It's we had in the previous game or in the game before that, we had at one point it was a 2-minute jam and it was super intense, and the final score was 4-4 or something. They're like, why did we do this?
Yes.
So much effort and so much sweat for nothing.
So we have Lulu and Eau de Vilaine facing each other. We have Chaton in the box with a forearms penalty, so Antwerp with the pack advantage, and they're taking full
pivot.
Taking full advantage, really leaving no space. Like, look how close they still are to the jammer line, and Eau de Vilaine is out in the first corner.
Yep, and so is Chaton, who almost skated into Eau de Vilaine out of that penalty box.
Maybe forgot that they are not a jammer.
Yeah. Lulu, however, took the star off, is putting it back on their head right now. But Eau de Vilaine is scoring the points.
Who is also the lead, so they are in control, and they did call off the jam before Lulu could score any points, but did manage to score 3 points themselves, which is good in this jam, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Slow and steady. Little widening that gap again, just to play it safe. So that's Hipshot lining up next to Ninon. I believe both pretty high scoring jammers. There's
I think
Hipshot
so, yes.
definitely, and I think Ninon at this point might also be the highest scoring jammer for Namur.
They are both the ones with the 11 and 15 points on the board, so they must be the highest scoring jammers, I think. We have Hipshot with a quick lead before the pivot line even, and then we have Ninon with the star in hand. Will they go for the star pass? They're trying to at least. So Hipshot being recycled, nice job there by Lanroule. Not an easy job to fix against Hipshot. And we have the star pass to Pulp. So there will be a call off for Antwerp, normally speaking. And 0 points on the board and 3 points on the board for Antwerp.
It's interesting to see Lanroule and Pulp on track together, because I don't think I've seen that a lot. Usually they're pivots in their respective lines. Right now we have Jackie lining up as a pivot. But I think it's one of the few times that I've actually seen them on track together.
Jackie has not had a star pass this game, but they have been pivoting before, and also in this game, I think, just not star pass yet. Chaton has also been pivoting.
Yes, true.
But we haven't seen them with the star in hand yet, so maybe they're different. They have a different pivoting style.
Yeah, definitely.
We have Gilly in the back and Wildcard with the lead before they crossed the pivot line, so that's very impressive. And then we have a penalty for Helfrea going to the box.
Yeah, that's a forearm penalty. Wildcard now again, just sort of twirling inside, outside, slicing through that wall. And again, the jammers are so, or the blockers are so fast to immediately whirlwind or waterfall in front of those jammers.
But a lot of individual gameplay I see with Namur. Yes. I'm missing a cohesive wall, because if they do a cohesive wall, they are so strong, and the jammers really struggle.
And we saw Wildcard struggle with that kind of wall.
Exactly. We now have Jackie, because we said it, of course, with the star on the helmet. And I do think Antwerp is trying to empty the box, but then we have
Majin Buu is the only player left on the track, and as I'm saying that, she's joined again by, I believe that's Helfrea,
And we have Cherry Marshpit and Czech together in the box. Jackie with the cover, a little bit confusing there. That's the pivot cover, just hanging low on the helmet, which is fine. Offense for their jammer. Wildcard
going straight through.
Yes, managing to really push through. Another penalty for Namur. This is a penalty-heavy jam. Like, we have not seen this before.
And I believe that that's also because everything is so speedy. Yes. Everyone seems to be blocking one-on-one almost. It's very individual. Back is moving very fast.
Yeah, and also I think very important when the pack is becoming that small. it's so difficult to keep the pack. You need
you have constant no packs.
Yeah, you have to be like fully aware. But Antwerp did get what they wanted. Pretty high scoring jam, 16 points extra on the board.
A full penalty box almost for Namur. We have one person standing in a penalty box, two people sitting on a penalty box. I believe that's Lanroul who is put on as the lone blocker on track.
But it is Antwerp with the pack advantage, very much so. Penalties so far, 19 for Antwerp, and 24 for Namur.
But look at Lulu. They had the entire wall of Antwerp to pass, and they did some blocking, and then they just went straight through. Really nice. Now Lulu running into their own blockers. No points for Namur and 1 point being signaled here.
That's impossible because they have two in the blocks. So yeah, 3 points in total. Exactly. 3 points scored, which is like minimal effort for pretty big score, so 3-0 in favor of Antwerp. And Antwerp really slowly but surely making that gap a lot bigger with Namur. I have to say I'm pretty impressed with the second half so far. The jam before this was quite heavy.
They're doing a star pass on the whistle.
But it is then hip shot with the lead against Pulp, so I'm really curious to see what happens. We have a big race.
And they are all the way in the back, and only 2 blockers. I do believe Hipshot's going to run this. Yeah, monkey business.
I do think so, yes.
Monkey business. This is his last tournament as coach, right?
Yes.
So if you're interested, if you're bored, if you're looking for a new hobby, be sure to sign up as Antwerp's new coach. Let them know. So
we love people who are enthusiastic and love life. So that's all we look for.
If all you want in life is to signal to really good players, whatever they need to do, be sure to join.
Hipshot battling the wall there for Namur. Not an easy feat, if you can tell.
Pulp is actually already through.
Yes, 4 points scored for the pivot gun jamming for Namur. And then I think 4 extra points for Antwerp. Yes, 8-4 for Antwerp. But this is, I think we are slowly... Antwerp is slowly running away from Namur. It's going really slow. Like, it's not big jams, or maybe a couple of big jams, but not many big jams. Mainly like 3 points to 0, and 4-0,
and as we started out as well, I do believe this is because of penalties.
Exactly.
We see Namur especially getting a lot of forearm penalties. We just started a game, started a jam with 3 blockers in the box, and you know that's a forearm penalty now going to a wild card. I shouldn't have said it.
The energy has gone up as well. I feel
we're having a jammer swap with a cut penalty now being assessed to Gilly. So both jammers will be sitting about 4 seconds.
I do believe we are going, the energy has gone up, I feel like.
Yes,
you
definitely.
feel like it's 15 minutes more, but it's still 15 minutes. So we really have to be careful not burning out all of our players, both for Namur and Antwerp, of course. And so I'm curious to see what happens.
So no lead jammer either. We have 1 minute and 10 seconds left on the clock. And as you just said, almost 15 minutes left in this final game of the day. You don't want to entirely burn out.
Shelock with the offense there for wildcard, trying to really open up that wall. A little bit of a tumble there. And Gilly struggling in that wall of
now,
Antwerp.
Of course, the pack in the back, and wildcard is using it, getting out of that engagement zone.
Yeah, it was good to see that Shelock also noticed it and stuck with the wall, making sure that that Namur went out of play before they actually noticed what was going on.
Yeah, really good track awareness.
Yes. Wildcard on the inside line. That was apparently a little bit of an easier pass. Lanroul trying a little bit, but not managing to stop wildcard there. And we have a star pass to Lanroul.
Aileen being in the penalty box again. I do believe they've had quite some penalties for in Antwerp terms, at least this game.
Exactly. And
I hope you saw that on the live stream.
Yeah.
As
everything was butt first.
Yes, yes. Namur was like, they're probably going to call it, so I'm just going to throw my butt in front there and hope I can score some points. But yeah, that butt was denied.
And they did. The 2 points were scored.
Oh, they did.
Yeah,
oh,
one
really
passed
nice.
and then one in the box.
Yes.
So a good thinking there. And then we have 8 points on the board for Antwerp. So 155 for Antwerp, 85 for Namur. It's going pretty well. I feel both teams are working really hard. The energy has gone up, I think, in the last few jams. We are trying harder and we are going faster and stronger.
I'm really liking the offense strategy that Namur has from the start, because they're not really using their blockers as a battering ram, but they're sort of pushing their blockers into the wall. And then hopefully, you know, the opponent starts blocking them, and then they suddenly pick a side. So they use their blockers as sort of a physical distraction, and I'm here for it. I'm loving it.
Lulu being recycled back, so a little bit of a killing of the time of the scoring pass. Nice hit out there by Pulp, of course.
Yeah, we missed the moment it happened, but of course we saw Villain on the ground entirely floored. Oh, don't you hate it when that happens? It's
it was the end of that initial pass. So, but we have a star pass to Majimbu, who is then also being hit down by Pulp, but Pulp also fell, so we have like a no pass, no penalty probably situation. Majimbu not speeding up, pacing themselves, knowing like there is still a lot of time going on, like 10 minutes still on the board. For the lead calls, we have 20 times lead for Antwerp in this game, and Namur has 11 leads. So not the strongest dominance, I think, for Antwerp, but a strong preference for Antwerp with the leads. And we have a timeout.
Yeah, a team timeout for Namur. And of course, as we mentioned before, these teams will also be facing off tomorrow. So tomorrow at 10 starts our second day of this wonderful Holy Duck tournament. At 10, we have Valencia Roller Derby versus Namur Roller Derby. At 12:30, it's La Boucherie de Paris versus One Love, which is Antwerpen A team. And then at 3, there's the B team game, which is the Pack of Destruction, which is Antwerp B versus the Rotterdam Roller Derby Honeys.
Yeah, and both teams already have a win in the pocket in this tournament. So Antwerp already won against Valencia this morning, and Namur won impressively against Boucherie. So both teams already played a full game. I think especially Namur put in a lot of effort into the win to get it on Valencia. So maybe they are now struggling a little with the energy dosage for the rest of the game. Both teams also, previous 3 games they played before Holy Duck were all wins. Namur won from Oslo, Norrköping and Bristol. And Antwerp won from Bear City, Stockholm and Switchblade. So 4 wins already. And let's see who takes it home now. We have 92 on the board for Namur and 155 for Antwerp.
And look at our super enthusiastic crowd as well there.
Nice to see. A bit mention also that there are still a lot of people also in the cafeteria.
Yeah.
Lead for Antwerp, but it is Ninon for Namur being really, really close to a hip shot, who then calls it off.
I love how the blockers for Antwerp just started doing some very enthusiastic offense, and then hip shot was like, nope.
Yeah, I think Antwerp was trying to secure at least one point, but then it's not gonna work. So let's just call it off. 0-0.
Yeah, and of course you want to play it safe, because these games, it's an entirely sanctioned tournament, so it's also about those WFTDA rankings, and every single point you give away counts. Every single point you score counts.
Exactly.
So it's not just about the win. It's not like Antwerp can now suddenly take it easy because they're in the lead. Wildcard definitely not take it easy. Yeah. Picking up that lead.
Beautiful footwork there on the inside line, managing to get lead, and Namur was so sure they were out.
Yeah, it's those jammers, and we have a lot of those jammers here today who are so good at taking the lines. We saw Bisser de Pisser was really good at that. Wildcard is really good at that.
Lulu is also very good at that. They managed to score their initial pass also with the footwork on the inside line. Blockers always say, all the way to the line.
Yep, take the line, cover the line.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, how dare you?
Yeah, I did it by accident. I was so enthusiastically inhaling air. So 1 point scored there and 0 for Namur at the final jam.
We have Gilly lining up in the blue, and that is Eau de Vilaine.
No, it's the first time that's Queen Laquifa for this game.
I was like, wait, they're way too tiny to be Eau de Vilaine. Pushing in front there. And again, you see the jammers also using the lateral movement, as we mentioned earlier, to break up the wall and to get those butts basically apart so they can go straight through.
And again, it's Pulp, of course, with the recycling of the jammer for Antwerp, who was almost there.
And now 2 blockers in the box, so only 2 blockers to pass for Queen Laquifa, who... Are they whistled lead? Yeah, jam referee is just checking. Is lead still open?
Yeah. How is this? How does this work?
Yeah.
And then we have, of course, Gilly with the star in hand. Will they go for the star pass? It's happened before, so we'll see what happens. Offense there by Eline on the wall for Namur, but the 2 wall is super strong.
Exactly.
Jackie and Pulp are doing an incredible job of letting the offense go through, and then just like nothing happens.
They just let their hands go. They let, Pulp, there they go again.
Oh,
no.
But this time it didn't happen. So Queen Laquifa was ready for its first scoring pass done for Antwerp. And we are still on initial for
Yes, and
Gilly.
Pulp is situated, I was just going to say, positioned exactly right for that start pass.
Yes.
And as I was attempting to say that, they already took the start back. Laquifa, however, scoring more points, calling it off, and not giving anything away.
Yeah, it's as if Namur gave everything away already in that for that star pass, and then they kind of forgot that the jammer was still coming or something. We have Eline in the box for Antwerp. I do believe that this is one of the final penalties that they are going to have. We have Nino and hip shot on the track, so we have a switch again. So Nino again with hip shot.
But now against hip shot, like they did at the start. And if you're watching the live stream and you're confused about all the show bullet, the hot balls, it's one of the songs that Namur sings. It's basically their song. They sing it with their audience. Their entire audience know the song. So
they also sang it during their warm-up.
Show bullet.
It's actually like a warm friture snack, I think, that you eat. Like I think it reminds the Dutch people of a bitterbal. Yeah. So show bullet. I'm sorry for my singing.
It's like a little goulash kind of ball.
Exactly.
Kind of thing.
Yes. And the last jam, jam 16, was ended with 0-0 because it was a race against with the 2 jammers.
Eline back in the penalty box right now.
Still
Still in the penalty box.
Maybe,
yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, because now they're standing. We have wild card in front. Lulu struggling a little in the back, but both jammers not getting through immediately.
No.
Blocker to the box, Tinker to the box for Namur. Eline back on track for Antwerp, but Wildcard manages to resist that final blow for Pulp and getting the lead.
And I really think, as you said, these teams are usually pretty close together, but today the amount of penalties that Namur has been getting has been very much a deciding factor in this game. And as I'm saying that, one of the pink blockers gets a penalty as well.
And our jammer, and then we have 2 blockers.
And a jammer.
Yes, and Tinker, who is...
massive hit there by Eline onto Pulp, but it's like... Pulp reacted like she was being tickled.
Yeah.
And Eline was the one going down.
Tinker for Namur is on 6 penalties, by the way. They are in the box at this point, and they are only allowed to make 1 more, best not, because then they have a fallout.
Yes.
So good recycling there for the Antwerp blockers. We have a power jam, but they are killing the time for Pulp, who is actually a pivot, to make sure that they do not score any points.
And there's 35 seconds left in this jam, and Pulp is standing still. I believe they're just incredibly tired, and they're waiting for offense to be organized.
They've done it all as well this game. They've pivoted, they've jammed, they've done offense, they've done defense. I think they're like, it's enough.
Amazing jump there by Wildcard, who basically leapt over the hips of an opponent. We've seen so many straightaway jumps, and I absolutely love it. Pulp also not deciding to block. They're just they just look done.
Yeah, they are like, I'm just gonna keep this wall busy, making sure they cannot do anything more than just being busy. But we are at the end of the 2 minutes. This was a tough jam, I do believe. Namur did manage to score 4 points, but Antwerp, although they did have a power jam against, scored the 11 points.
Yep, they're almost double the points. Oh, and Aileen being sent to the penalty box again. I saw someone point to a pink blocker and shout something, but I wasn't sure what the penalty was.
Yeah. I think they're overcompensating a little. It's not necessary. Leave it be. We are they are 80 points before. Yeah. Your team is doing well. Please be. It's better to start with 4 than to make that last penalty.
And especially because they still have 1 or 2 games coming up tomorrow. So you do want to sort of be nice to yourself and be nice to your body.
Exactly. And then we have, again, number 13 for Antwerp jamming for the 2nd time this game.
Yep, that's Laquifa.
Queen Laquifa against Nino. But they took off the cover and they realized now, I heard them say the S word pretty loudly. They know they took off the cover and there is a no lead. Cutting up the track for Nino. This is a 2-minute jam. Dude, how many did we have?
Too many. Too many 2-minute jams.
Everybody must be dead. I'm dead just looking at it already.
It's starting to sound like a little bit of a tongue twister. This is my tongue twister. Too many 2-minute jams.
Yes.
And again for Ninon as well. Ninon has had quite a lot of jammer penalties already. They're very successful, but they're also a risky jammer.
Yeah, but it's not going well for Antwerp. So we have Queen Laquifa being recycled again, still on initial. So this is a good jam for Namur. This is going to, for now, 0 points have been scored.
And we have Majin Buu all the way in the front, holding back the Namur offense there, so she is not in reach of her jammer in order to do that star pass.
Trying to choose a strategical position maybe, but Chaton is on them like hot glue. And then we have the star pass from Ninon to L'Enroule. So they are going for the scoring pass, while Queen Laquifa is being recycled by Ninon. Must be very frustrating. We have 10 more seconds on the board.
Especially with Ninon, like they are going to use those 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Just trying to push those legs through, now being hit out by Majin Buu on the inside, but I'm sure they put some points on the board. Yeah, that's 3 points being signaled there.
We had one scoring pass in that jam. So 2-minute jam, 1 scoring pass.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's like super hardcore, tough job. People
amazing
done
blocking
stuff. Yeah.
We're seeing we're seeing a nice versatility from the blockers. So they're both, all of the blockers in this tournament so far. So they're both really amazing and tight as a tripod and just not at all moving. But also, as soon as the jammer passes them, they're in front, they're in front, they're in front. So they constantly keep waterfalling in front of them. So yeah, great versatility. I was talking with my friend on the way here, and we were saying back in the day, roller derby as a blocker, it was mostly you stood, and then if a jammer passed you, you were sort of like, okay, now we're going to wait for the jammer to come again. And now there's really as much agility desired from the blockers as we used to always want from the jammers.
So the game is not played only when the jammer is in the pack, but the pack is constantly playing, and it takes a lot of mental space to be able to play that high. So that's great. I love to see it as well. If the blockers are playing like derby full on. We are starting with a full pack at this moment. So 4-4 for Namur. I think it might be one of the last jams. So Nino is blocking. Nino is blocking as a pivot, and hip shot really getting through, really breaking up that wall again. And Lulu with the star in hand, nice job there on the inside line. But being recycled nonetheless.
Yeah, and they're on 99 points right now. It would be so great to get them, reach to 100 points. But
for now, they are on the. They are not scoring any points yet. Yeah, and we have hip shot returning again for a second scoring pass. So they're, but they're also taking it a little bit slower. Like they have the 80 points advantage. Like don't kill yourself. Tomorrow is another day. We still have 1 or like 30 seconds for the period clock.
Yeah. And we've now had a start price. We saw Lulu getting incredibly frustrated. They were signaling penalties to the jammer. They sort of looked done. So it's probably really good timing for them to pass that star onto Ninon. Now, really nice chase there by Lulu onto Hipshot. Hipshot just turning around to see what's going on behind them. Sherlock Holmes trying to hit. I love it when Sherlock falls because she does like these awesome little barrel rolls. She doesn't just fall to the ground, but she just keeps rolling for about a meter. I love it.
I hope everyone saw that. So Hipshot passes through, and from the moment they saw the period clock going 0, they called it off. They were done with this game. 12 points on the board in the end, 4 points scored for Namur, 103. So Namur did manage to go over the centennial mark, and Antwerp, strong dominance. I do believe even more than in the first half, than in the second. 187 points, strong.
And we were not expecting this difference in points. Nobody was expecting this.